please welcome Tina Fey.
Every little thing she does is magic. Everything she does just turns me on. Even though my life before was tragic, all my life from her goes on.
Wow.
Thank you.
How exciting it is for me to have you. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
You have many fans over here. You've been travelling, though. Before we get to the show and the film, you've been travelling, you've been promoting the movie through Europe.
Yes.
Pretty much a whistle-top store, I guess. Not too long in any one country. Where have you been so far?
I'm going around with Steve Carell for this movie that we've got coming out, and we went. First, I went to LA with him because I don't live there. He lives there.
You live in New York.
I live in New York, and then we went to Paris, and then we went to Berlin, and so we're thrilled now to be here. We're so thrilled to be out of a language barrier because you do these press junkets, and people come. You know, the German journalists come in and say, like, "You're not famous here, so why?" Are you? It's like, why do you have a movie? Like it's just like such an awkward, unending barrier.
But aren't you half German? Wasn't your dad German?
Yeah, my dad. Well, my mom's Greek, as we now know,
Yes.
and my dad of German descent. Yeah.
So do you speak any German at all?
I can kind of pronounce. It's funny because we were in talking to the German journalist. The only 3 words that I knew were, I said like es tut mir leid, Bergsteigen, and schwul, which it's I'm sorry, mountain climbing, and gay.
Well, in the right party, that could come in very handy, I imagine, if you're having a weekend. So you're here now, which I'm delighted. I'm a big 30 Rock fan. It doesn't have as big an audience here yet because it isn't on one of the bigger channels.
It doesn't have a huge audience anywhere. Let's not kid ourselves.
Is it not? But it's big in this. I mean, you've been nominated for so many Emmys.
Well, we're very lucky. We've certainly won a lot of awards and stuff. But and we're on after the American Office, which helps us. But it's sort of in the golden days of Friends and Frasier are over when 20 million people would check it out.
But yeah, it's a great show. Before we talk about that properly, I'm sure that lots of people would have heard of you, even this country. They saw you because of your Sarah Palin impersonation on Saturday Night Live, which was it was in the news here even. When she appeared, you'd been in Saturday Night Live for a while, I guess. Did you immediately think, wow, this is going to be great for me? I look like I can do her, or did other people have to point that out to you?
I was already hearing as soon as she was chosen in. Maybe August or whatever it was a couple years ago, I started getting emails and my cousins and people saying like, oh, I look just like her. And so I looked at it and I was like, nah, I don't really see it. And my husband was like, yeah, you look like her. And I think I had worked at Saturday Night Live and I had left to do 30 Rock, but I don't think people even realized that I had left, and people really were urging me to go back and try to do it.
And so you jumped at the opportunity, I guess. It was too good to...
Yeah, at first I kept saying I wasn't going to do it, and then next thing I knew I was doing it.
Would you mind giving us a little bit of the Palin voice?
I'll try, but oh my God, I haven't done it in so long.
It's a while, isn't it? Yeah.
I have to remember to work into it. It's like she's got that real Minnesota, and she's just so happy to be talking about anything but the issues, and just like, I have to. I might end up having to do it in a week or so. I'm going back to SNL.
Are you going to host?
I'm going to host SNL in a couple weeks.
Well, that would be exciting. Well, that's like going back as the kind of conquering hero, isn't it? To go back
I
and
can
host?
only lose. Yeah. I can only cede ground.
Well, Saturday Night Live kind of did that inspire 30 Rock? Because 30 Rock is set in a similar, if far less successful, sort of sketch show.
Yes, I play a head writer of a late night comedy show, and it sort of was the jumping off point. But the characters have now kind of taken a life of their own, and the difference too is that it's Saturday Night Live. That show is sort of an American institution that's been on for 35 years, and then on 30 Rock, the show within the show is quite terrible. Yeah.
And then people, when I see a show, when I fall in love with a show, which I have with that, and I fall in love with my whole family, we love Liz Lemon, we love the show, but people kind of, do they want you to be that character? Because I kind of want you to be Liz Lemon. I want you to endure that crushing loneliness and life at home eating cheese.
You would like me to be lonely at home?
Because I love her for her life.
Well, I certainly... I feel she's kind of a sliding doors version of me. If I had not found my husband, had not found someone to marry me, I would have just continued to sour and sink deeper into my work, and I would absolutely be exactly Liz Lemon.
But there must be some similarities, I'm sure, between you and her. You're not sour and lonely, but...
Not so sour anymore, but I can be sour, and I certainly like my terrible food, and I work too much, and I'm very awkward with people, and I'm not fun at parties.
Well, so you really are Liz Lemon.
I really am, yeah.
Just with a husband.
Yeah.
And Alec Baldwin, if you know the show, you know Alec Baldwin is just godlike on this program. His presence is majesterial. Was he always intended for that role?
I wrote the role with him in mind because he had hosted Saturday Night Live a bunch of times, and he's so funny, and he had, heretofore been known as just this dramatic leading man, but he hosted like 12 times, and people just kept realizing how funny he was.
Yeah.
But we actually auditioned a bunch of actors and met with a bunch of actors before I had the guts to approach him about it.
What's he like with the with that? Because in a way, I guess he's the most experienced actor. He's had. A
Oh
movie,
my God, he
yeah.
might technically he's the only actor on the
So
show.
does he tutor other? Is he like a mentor to other people?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot from working with him, and we're always pairing him with, you know, these random people. We did in season 4, which we just finished, which I guess you'll have here in like 9 years. But we put him with crazy people. We've gotten a habit this year. There's a guy who's a custodian at the studio where we shoot, and his name is Subhas, and we put him in the show a few times as a custodian.
Like a janitor guy.
A janitor guy. Oh yeah, sorry, a janitor.
Yeah.
And he's really, you know, he's really natural and charming. And then I guess what I learned from this was that maybe Alec doesn't actually watch the show after it's done, because then Subhas then got a bigger story. We sort of did a Conan Jay Leno parallel where the night janitor, the overnight janitor, wanted the 11:30 janitor shift, and it was like a janitor war. And so we had one guy was an actor, and then we just used Subhas again, and Alec pulled the director aside and was like, "This guy is terrible. This guy's a terrible actor." And we were like, "Alec, he's the janitor. And he's been on 4 times."
You know, I'm sure many fans have asked you this, but it's rather like the X-Files, in that you wanted Mulder and Scully to get together. You wanted to see that chemistry finally bear fruit. And we all wonder whether or not Liz Lemon is going to get it on with Jack Donaghy.
Yeah, I think we've committed to the fact that no, they should never be together, except in the 30 Rock porn, which is real and available.
Is there 30 Rock?
There is, and I actually haven't watched it. I assume that Liz and Jack go to town on each other, but there is a 30 Rock porn movie, and the same actress who played Sarah Palin in the Sarah Palin porn movie played me.
Isn't that nice? It's all filtering
So
down to
it's
other
an
people.
honor.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, what possible porn title could you get that sounds a bit like 30 Rock?
They couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
I think it's actually called the 30 Rock porn parody. It's like, it's right there in front of you.
You must be tempted to watch it.
It's right there. I've watched the trailer.
Oh, yeah. That's good enough.
That's good enough.
Oh, how weird. You know, I said that I wanted you to be like Liz Lemon. But I also wanted you to be married to Steve Carell. Because after I saw Date Night, I think this is a perfect couple. These guys should be married together.
Thank you.
But you knew each other before the movie?
We had known each other a little over the years because we'd both come out of Second City, but we were never anyplace quite at the same time. So this is the first time we've worked together. And yeah, other than our shows being back to back.
Well, it's kind of weird that the TV show's back to back and then you're married on the big screen.
Yeah.
Explain the Date Night to people who haven't seen it or don't know about even the concept of the Date Night.
Yeah, the Date Night apparently is maybe a little bit of an American thing because once again, all the Germans were like, "We do not do this." All right, fine, settle down. Date Night is, you know, when kind of married parents try to carve out a once-a-week time to go out together. And Steve and I play this married couple living in New Jersey, and we have a nice life, 2 kids, but we're kind of just in a rut, and we find out our friends are getting divorced, and it freaks us out. So we try to have a really special night out, and we go into Manhattan, and we end up stealing another couple's reservation to get into this fancy restaurant. We just say, "Yes, we're the Triple Horns, sure." And then it turns into a little bit of an action movie because we're mistaken for some other people.
Well, I loved it because it's very funny. I loved it because you're in it.
Thank you.
I loved it because you're with your husband-to-be Steve Carell in it. But also, you know, it surprised me because it was different, but it's very, very funny. Do you and your husband, do you do the date night thing?
Yeah, we try. I mean, we try to get out. We don't call it date night. The Obamas, they call it their date night.
They call it date night.
So this usually involves taking a jet to a Broadway show.
Is there pressure on you, though, on those nights when you go out with your husband? Do you feel like this better be better? And do you have to, and I don't want to intrude on your personal life, but do you have to give up the sweet stuff at the end of a date night?
That actually comes up in the movie where we have, Carell and I have kind of a negotiation at the end of a date night of like, "You're tired, right?" I mean, I could rally, but I am tired. And I kind of feel kind of gassy from the meal, so I think, that's married life.
Let's have a look. Opens here April 21st. This is date night. Mark Wahlberg. That's an impressive frontage. Yeah, that's a lot of man.
Mark Wahlberg is in the movie, never wears a shirt the whole movie.
Now, was this in his contract or did you insist?
It was in my contract.
But he's got the kind of chest that if I had that, I would take my shirt off.
His chest is prettier than my face. And every place we go in this junket, 100 people say to Steve Carell, like, "Is it hard for you to be next to Mark Wahlberg, who is more handsome than you?" He's a very good sport about it.
Well, there's no real answer you can give there, of course, is there?
No.
Are you going to be here for long? Are you spending any of Easter over here in the UK?
No, I'll get back home for Easter.
Well, that's a shame for you because over here we have actual chocolate.
Well, you don't, what are you saying? I'm from Pennsylvania. We have Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah, okay, and can I tell you, Hershey's, there's stuff you sell as chocolate in the States. If we had it over here, you would put a wick in it and use it to light the room.
How dare you?
It's not, it's barely edible. Have you ever had real chocolate?
Yeah, maybe it's my idiot palate, but I like my American chocolate.
Well, that shows you in a very poor light. Seriously, have you never realised that it's like sucking a newspaper, American chocolate?
Unbelievable.
It's one of the most distressing things.
I won't stand for this.
Well, you don't have to. I've got something here that's going to blow your tiny mind, Faye. I've got real... this is some real...
I will eat it. I will eat it.
You're going to eat a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Try this, and this is proper chocolate.
All right.
This is not... By the way, this isn't British. This is Swiss, I think.
Swiss.
It comes from near the Hadron Collider, so it's got extra kind of... It glows.
And we're eating this to celebrate the death of Jesus.
Yeah, we are. And the return, I believe.
And the return.
And the sequel. Just suck on it, let it melt in your mouth a bit.
How dare you? That's good.
Yeah, how much better than your homegrown crap is that?
You know, it's different. It's like Steve and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's actual chocolate. You never tried that before. That's got what we call cocoa solids in it.
I prefer the real America chocolate.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
good. You can have something to take home.
All right.
I'm so thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm a fan, my whole family fan. We have a lot of fans in here this evening. It's great. You must come over here sometime. The fabulous Tina Fey, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Tina.
All right.
Thank you. And the chocolate's yours if you want it.
All right, thanks.
Tina Fey.